Welcome guys! Today on the On the Grid podcast we're going to talk about the Xbox conference, the Capcom conference and about the Halo series. I hope you enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome back with another episode of the Game Grid with the guys over here.
I'm George.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Armando. And welcome back to another episode of the Game Grid. It's been a while.
Well, it actually hasn't been a while, but it's been a while since we posted something.
Indeed, yeah.
It wasn't a lack of effort. That's the one thing I want to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we recorded already 2 useless episodes.
Yes.
And,
Including with me, yeah, but
Yes.
well, yeah.
But there are those. This is the third episode 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's nice. That at least it's well thought through.
Yes.
Yeah. I've helped these guys with their setup, trying to give them tips, whatever.
Yes.
In the end,
proper setup.
the whole setup changed right now, so it's more professional now as well.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're using OBS now, so hopefully there are no.
More quality, more views, more likes.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
You like
sounds
it?
good.
I like it.
Yeah.
So let's start
But
off
do you
with the main
subscribe
thing.
to it?
Yeah, also subscribe. Yeah, but for the main thing of what we always start with is what did you do this week,
Oh my
or
God.
what did
The-
you
the
do
la-
the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Well, I actually had a few weeks of vacation. I recorded a few episodes on the Game Grid, but those episodes got lost.
Yeah.
And for-
Corruption.
Yeah, and otherwise, I was just kind of chilling, playing some FIFA. I'm playing Castle Crashers right now, so that's a nice, good arcade game. So I'm doing well. I'm
Nice,
fine. I'm doing
nice.
nice.
And then Andy.
Yeah, I've been playing Yakuza, the Like a Dragon. It's a really fun RPG-like game. It's like the traditional RPG. You have to fight, you get experience, you
Yeah.
get magic, whatever, and yeah. And it's quite a big game though. It's like a really big game, but you have included all kinds of mini games as well.
Yeah.
Like you have to manage a company. You have incorporated Mario Kart, but they don't label it as Dragon Kart.
Yeah.
And
So I'm not really big into RPGs, but George is. So I'm curious.
Yeah.
You know the game?
Of course, I know the game. Everybody knows Yakuza.
yeah.
But
That
all
plays
I was
RPGs.
wondering was how long is this game? Because the first
Yeah.
time we started to record this episode 3 weeks ago, you were already playing Yakuza. So
That is true, yeah. It's so far I have no idea what kind of percentage I'm at.
Yeah.
They don't show that. But
do you get kind of a
I have-
feeling?
I have played for 50 hours now.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
nice.
Yeah. 50 hours already, and I think I'm near the end.
You
Yeah.
rich
But-
already?
Huh?
You rich already?
Bridge, right?
Rich.
Oh, I'm mad casual. It's like
You're balling.
yeah, I've played that management game with as well, and then when you finish it, each time you finish, you can keep on trying. Each time you finish, you get 3 million currencies.
Currencies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yen. Yeah,
Yeah, so basically 350.
yeah, $100. Yeah, nah, but it's a lot. It's a lot of fun. They included something like a Pokemon fake-ish. They call it Sujimon, and you have to fight other guys, like other
Okay.
people. And all these people have certain types of moves, certain types of whatever they are.
Yeah.
And then you have to see a professor who made the app, like the Pokédex. Yeah. And
You pick up your first Pokemon.
yeah, you have to you have to choose one of the three guys. It's like red, blue, and green.
Green. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, choose one of the guys, and it was like, good choice.
It's
and
not
then you
completely
wonder-
obvious, right?
Yeah. Well, I wonder what they're referencing to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun game.
So that's
Yeah.
what you
So,
play.
and you, Armando, what have you been playing?
Yeah, I have been playing a few different games. Of course, some more Mario Kart. I've tried to finish the last sort of achievements with
Yeah.
the coins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I end up finding out that when you play the System Link game,
Yeah.
you can't you don't get the coins.
Oh, you have to play.
Yeah.
You have to play on a console, maybe. So when we're playing together, for instance, I think
Yeah.
you can get the coins.
Yeah.
But when you have the Switch, for instance, connected from Sophie, you can't
You don't get coins.
You can't get
Oh.
these coins. So that sucks because
how much time did you waste before you noticed that?
I think like 6 cups or something.
But
It's okay.
do you get double coins when you're playing on one system?
Yeah, that's what I still want to find out.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have also played some other games. That's what I think at least, but I totally forgot because
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
been 3 long weeks.
yeah.
So.
Well, not 3 long weeks actually, because I think the last time that we recorded was like, or that we uploaded an episode was a month ago.
Well, that could be, but it's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Since we left. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
yeah, so that's the things I've been doing. I did do some repair stuff. I've already been trying to do some repair video and editing with that.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard because we found out that there was some stuff missing. So we took that stuff, we connected it, we made it all like a complete studio-ish thing.
Yeah. Stuff missing for being able to record the video
Properly,
or for
yeah.
your mods.
And also the actual components that I needed, because the components that I needed, I like shipped them 3 weeks ago and they just got delivered. So I actually have the stuff now as well. Prepared.
Nice.
So that's nice. So
Nice.
I am actually ready to start off and make complete mod videos. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got a new laptop, so
yeah, I have the laptop here so I can.
we have
do
double
everything.
the editing power.
Absolutely.
It's like you're becoming more professional.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
How is that?
It's nice how that works.
Yeah.
After so many episodes.
After
tweaking
20
around.
episodes.
Well, let's now hope that it's actually getting published.
Oh, well, yeah, let's hope so. But
Let's hope
since
so.
you're the professional,
It's gonna be okay.
it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it's his fault.
Oh, by the way, I do want to mention, I started playing Halo Infinite.
What?
Oh, and what did you think
did
of it?
start it?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I
You
like
couldn't wait anymore. You
How
just
was the
fucking-
co-op?
How's the co-op?
you mean the co-op that they didn't release during the conference?
No,
No.
that they
Xbox
didn't
had?
announce or say
Yeah.
anything about. Nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
But at least
Yeah.
is the story any good or?
Yeah, well, of course, you shouldn't expect too much.
So no.
Well, I dig it for the way it is. I mean, I like the whole open world thing and where
How are
you
you going
have.
to say this without spoiling it?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to tell too much about the story, but
Yeah.
the whole thing where you can find a lot of weapons, you can literally choose your own way of sneaking up on
Yeah.
people or
Okay.
just go guns blazing into things.
Yeah.
That's nice. And I've played now for a couple of hours, and I must say, I mean, I think I didn't even remember what Halo 4 and Halo 5 was about. That's how much of a impact it had on me. And this is actually something I like. So
It's refreshing.
yeah, it's refreshing. So I really hope it's going upwards from here. And let's see. I'm
Yes.
just gonna play.
Maybe one day they will even release the co-op for this game.
Yeah,
That would
maybe
be
one day we
amazing.
have some multiplayer and stuff. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Did you play any multiplayer by any chance?
I already did like months ago, and I think it was in one of the first episodes where they released this first sort of beta that they had with the multiplayer, and that was nice already. But yeah, I'm probably just a sort of old timer because I really like Halo Reach and Halo 2, but a lot of other multiplayer games from Halo are not really my sort of thing. So for instance, a lot of people really like Halo 3 multiplayer.
Yeah.
We also had these dropping
These other big items you could use once
Yeah.
and then...
Yeah, for me, for some reason, when they launched Reach, I had that old feeling again of multiplayer where they really incorporated these extra items really well, and they had a lot of familiar weapons.
Yeah, you also have a class system. Right?
Yeah. So that's what I really liked, and of course with the Master Chief Collection, you can play a lot of these sort of games. So yeah, it's nice that you can still play them. And let's see what Infinite does. I'm not playing too much online, but also I read a lot of bad comments online. So I'm sort of waiting with these games. Like I don't want to have that feeling. I just want to read something. We updated it. It's fantastic now, and then I'm ready to play.
Yeah.
Then it can. Then it.
Yeah, I
won't
understand.
cloud
Well, I think at this point it's kind of like they already are at season 2 of their online campaign. So it's about time something's gonna happen now.
me. Yeah.
So we can only hope.
Yeah. So let's move on to the main topic.
Yeah.
So let's start off with the Xbox conference. I'm just gonna reserve my judgment Let's start off with yours.
Reserving your judgment.
So
Okay.
yeah, well, I think the Xbox conference really sucked, in my opinion. And basically, it's kind of one part is expectation because I expected them to come with some great games and
I
some
just want
next
to say,
gen games.
why do you think it sucked? Because I thought it was freaking. Wait a minute.
let me. I'll fall on this blade for you. No, but I think the problem is they focused way too much on this Xbox Game Pass, and there's nothing really for Series X because they brought out a next gen console. And
So why is it then? Why do you have such a hard judgment on it?
well,
I haven't seen it. That's why.
well, because I expect something to compete with PlayStation. To be honest, I expect those AAA first-party titles where you buy a console for.
Yeah.
I mean,
You want to see the actual battle, like fight.
I want to see the and I want to see those high-tier games with new IPs. And it's not just that games didn't look that good, but they looked most of them look kind of cheap, to be honest. And that's kind of the problem I have. Like there are enough of creative people that have great ideas for games, and they just bought Bethesda for what was it?
60 billion.
60 billion. I mean, I expect you to bring the fire then, you know. And Starfield looked good and was the standout of this. One of the standouts.
Okay, so some people say what you just said that you're a hypocrite because then they say like they only bought it for not even a year and you're already expecting huge games. I agree with you.
Well,
let me first
yeah.
start off with this. But
Most games are not done in a year. So.
yeah, but you do have the feeling that it's not all Bethesda, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
there's something next to
like-
Bethesda. And there's still nothing.
Yeah.
even if you have nothing, don't show just the coming 12 months. Show me what you got in the next 24 months.
Yeah, but some people were really happy about this because they said like they learned from their mistakes by not showing anything outside of their 12-month span because they did that in the past.
Yeah.
And that's where people really got dissatisfied because they thought like, oh shit, there's in 2 years.
Well,
Yeah, I actually hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that because we were watching some cool trailer, whatever. Like, fuck, I want to play this game when it's coming out.
2 years from
Unannounced.
now.
Unannounced.
I love that kind of stuff because especially with Summerfest E3 kind of things, you have the next year to look forward to because they announced Fable last year, I guess, I think. And
Was,
so
that,
I
was that an announcement or was it like
it was an
we're just
announcement
gonna make
trailer.
people buy an Xbox and then do nothing?
Well, it was an announcement because the game is coming out eventually, so they announced it, but you have the chance to build that hype, you know. A teaser trailer, I don't expect the game to come out like in the first 2 years. I hope it would be nice, but I'd rather have a good game than a bad game that's been rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you, for instance, you said like that one of the things that you hate is that you constantly saw this sort of Netflixy Xbox style thing, and that's when you look at this conference in short, you could just sum it up. I think in like 20 seconds actually, because the only thing you have to show them is world premiere, world premiere, and day one on Game Pass. Day one on Game Pass.
Well, the problem I kind of have with I also have with Netflix is that they have a lot of content but not a lot of quality. And I'm kind of getting the feeling Xbox is going the same way. Like, we have a lot of games you can play on Xbox Game Pass, but we don't have a lot of quality. I mean,
but just for some reason you see that with a lot of big companies, right? I mean, like the bigger companies at the moment, they have this sort of woke mentality where they want to create just like as much content as possible in a short.
Why it's only $10 and you have this exclusive range of 10,000 games.
Yeah, and you need a subscription, and then everybody can play Game Pass. Because if you look at the conference, a lot of these games, I think I can play them on my mobile phone. They're that bad.
Yeah, but I think you really, like, every console needs that killer app, you know, that one game you're gonna say, oh, I'm buying the console for that game, and everything I get next to that is just nice. Like, with the first Xbox it was Halo 1, and maybe Xbox 360 Gears of War was the new IP where you were like, oh, I need an Xbox 360 to play this. And this is like, oh, well, I can install the app on my TV and just play it, or play it on my Xbox One.
You don't need the console
You don't need the console.
For me, the only thing that was missing in this conference to make this whole thing about the Game Pass is that at the end of the show they would just show off and here is a dongle. You can buy that for €50 and you can play every game you want to play with Game Pass. You only need an Xbox controller and this USB.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that before the conference they announced that there will be an Xbox Game Pass app for the Samsung TVs? So you really don't need anything.
Yeah.
Just a controller and then you can play. And
the newer smart TVs.
yes, and
built this year.
and luckily I got one, so I will never have to buy an Xbox again. But
Xbox for sale.
no, but you kind of expect them to justify somebody buying an Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
And for me, they really didn't do that. And I think the people that buy the Series X is kind of your core audience. Those are your hardcore fans. Those are the ones that ride and die with you. And you kind of say, oh, we don't need you anymore. So I just sell your Series X and buy a PlayStation 5. That's what the conference told me.
Yeah, the thing is that there's not this content. I thought they were going a little bit more retro for like the Xbox One. So what I was actually expecting is some Rare related releases. So no Banjo-Kazooie. There was a lot of talking about Banjo-Kazooie coming back and nothing during the conference. There was nothing like IPs of Rare or a new IP.
It's just remake. And
there was no.
collections
They were already talking a long time about this GoldenEye that was coming back. Nothing about GoldenEye. There was a trailer for of the creators Team Ninja, which I liked. But I was actually expecting, if you want to go back this route, I'm not the biggest fan of redoing IPs constantly, but if you want to grab back, then take Ninja Gaiden. A new release version of Ninja Gaiden. They started off with Project Gotham, with Halo, with Midtown Madness, all these specific classic Xbox games where they literally built their Imperium with. And now they're suddenly just like only this focus for Game Pass. And if I have to sum it up, I mean, I like the stuff that I saw from Riot Games. There was this first-person shooter game which I liked. There was this really wacky-ass game with all kinds of crazy-ass guns.
It goes with the makers of Rick and Morty.
And it was almost like a bad trip, but funny though, so I could appreciate that. That's something else. Then we have the new Forza, which I really dig, because that's actually a game that I was missing, that now finally comes to life again, and it looks also really next-gen, so it's not this...
And it's
So that's one of these games that I was finally like, finally a good game. Then they had this game from Team Ninja, which I liked, and they had this Starfield. And those were the games that were next-gen-ish, if I can call it
ish.
that. Ish. And the rest of the games, I can't understand where you come up with games that you see these drawings of a sort of thing that... Those sorts of games I was playing in the 90s. Come on. You literally come up with this shit and then turn it on in a sort of Xbox conference in the coming 12 months. And then you really expect something from Rare and they come up with an expansion pack for Sea of Thieves. I mean, I like the game, but come on. Expansion packs on a fucking... conference?
Yeah, that's kind of the trend, because you had Sea of Thieves, you had Diablo, and you had one more game that would get an expansion. Oh no, that garden game that would finally be released. Like, if that is one of your main games, I could understand you kind of like the conference, but if that's not one of your main games, then you're basically done.
And what I was really sad about is there was this extended conference, which I also watched. I was the only one, by the way, because that conference was actually something like, please save the day, please. No. They didn't do anything like this. They just recapped on everything they did 2 days before that. And I was already talking with George about this thing, and what I really hate is that PlayStation, for some reason, maybe it's because it's Japanese or something, I'm not really sure, but for some reason they do understand what it means to have people loving games and people enjoying games. And if they make a story about, for instance, like woman hero, just take
Last of Us 2?
Last of Us 2, but also what was the game that you've been
Horizon
playing? Horizon,
Zero Dawn?
the Forbidden West. The Forbidden West, for instance, is like the main character is a woman, but it doesn't feel this pushed. And for some reason, Microsoft can't do this. You feel that everything is forced up onto you. So all the games that they release, so the Diablo game, everything needs to be completely multicultural with every race in there which is possible. And if there's not an option, you always have to play with either a woman or something which pretends to be a woman. And
but
for some reason, PlayStation can do this in a way that you're feeling like, oh, this is a genuine story. You're playing with a woman and it's fine. And with Microsoft, it's just wokeness everywhere. And I hate that in games. I was so looking forward in this conference, and then I was like, okay, now if an Xbox comes back on stock, I have a reason to buy it. And after this conference, I was like, okay, when the PlayStation is back on stock, I'm gonna buy this console because this is a console that I can actually play next-gen games on.
Yes, but you don't understand. It isn't about the games. It's about the message.
Yeah, but the message is shit. And I don't care for this message. And if you come up with this message, I won't buy your content. And if I won't buy your content, you can recreate games. And you really read this on the internet often lately, that people are sick of this shit. And they are just like, stop with this, because we're not going to buy your games like this. And in the end, we're just going to buy games that we actually have a good feeling with. And if that ends up happening, game studios will go broke. And the only studios that will remain that create games are the ones that make genuine games without a message.
Like original new games.
Yeah.
I think the big problem is you get the feeling like Xbox, when they get a new game, it's like you have to check these boxes, and otherwise it's not good enough. Instead of like, oh, a developer comes like, this is my vision, my idea, and you go ahead with it. Because like Last of Us is, I think, the perfect example. Because the first game you played as Joel, as a man, and you play this story, but it was a very natural procession to play as Ellie in the next story. It clicked, you know, and it progressed the story and added to the world. And
so you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you
Sony
mean.
has this sort of natural feeling where you jump into a character instead of this forced thing that Microsoft constantly pushes onto you.
Like it has to be this. It's not about the story. It's about checking boxes, and I think that's.
It's the same. It's the same with the, and that's what we talked about, the unuploaded episode, the end of
the last episode
of the Halo series. We will come back to this later, but that's exactly the same thing. So if you look at this whole Xbox conference, there was just too much content missing and too much really important stuff missing. You expect Microsoft to at least have the balls to come up with the multiplayer for Halo. They didn't even mention it. They weren't even ashamed of releasing a game in January and in freaking July, because it's almost July right now, still don't have this co-op. It's freaking ridiculous. There's no Gears of War.
Especially for a game who is, how do you say, noticed?
Like for their most important game, their first
the most important game, what the game is known for, the co-op experience.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we're not going to do that.
And there's not even a person that launches a game or at least shows a trailer of a fantastic sort of game with an Unreal 5 engine where you were like, so for instance, when what you just mentioned, when the first Gears of War came, every time they were like the sort of beautiful jewelry that Microsoft could be showing, like, okay, we have the new engine, and here is Gears of War with this engine.
Let's show off.
Yeah, nothing. I have to really work. The only thing I constantly see are these freaking demos of this Matrix thing, which runs in this engine, and nothing else. It's ridiculous. It's the strangest thing is that they have these sort of developer conferences where they're really happy to report that they launched something which makes the Xbox now even better than the PlayStation 5 when it compares to graphics. And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you don't use the hardware, then it's pretty useless.
Yeah, it's kind of like they expect third-party developers to make the games for them, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, so I literally had my hope in the end for other developers, which is crazy because then I could just as well buy a PlayStation because these games will be released on the PlayStation anyways.
Yeah.
So, but I think the more important question is, when are you going to buy PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
I mean, join the
When
PlayStation
it's
Nation.
available.
Join the PlayStation Nation.
Well, I haven't missed anything with the PlayStation yet, so I own all the PlayStations except for the PlayStation 5, and I still really like the console. But the thing is just this, well, you already know that I always had later on a weakness for Xbox, and it completely got shattered.
Yes.
I mean, with the Xbox One, I already was late in the game, and there was a reason for this.
How many games did you buy for the Xbox One?
I think I already have like 20 or 30 games or something.
Oh, exclusive games. I'm sorry.
I have
I
no
misspoke.
No, but for me it was the same experience as well. I always had something for Xbox, mostly because of the achievement system. I really like getting collectibles and
Well,
Also, the hardware is fantastic of a PlayStation. If I have to compare, most of the time the hardware of an Xbox is better than the ones of PlayStation. The controllers are most of the time better quality. They come up with new perks. And this time around, we still have the shitty-ass Elite 2 controller, which breaks down in everybody's hands.
Yes.
They were thinking that they were going to release like a sort of new version of the Elite 2, or maybe even the Elite 3, which is not even that strange. And PlayStation is just walking around casually.
With
this
an
new DualShock,
excellent controller.
and this controller works fantastic.
The DualSense
even
is
has
perfect.
a fantastic vibration system.
And the trigger feedback.
It works all great. Yeah,
It's absolutely massive, and they announced they are coming with the Pro controller.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
So that they're listening to people.
Yeah.
So, but you talked about achievements on the Xbox, but you have trophies on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
So you just
I
come
know.
over.
I know it's
Join
strange
me, join me.
concept. No. I had a PlayStation 4 and I enjoyed it at the time. But once I got an Xbox One, I was like, yes, this is my console.
Yes.
I just feel it just
This-
feels
The Xbox One got the third-party games I want.
also that. Yeah.
Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really enjoy Game Pass.
Just you have Game Pass.
Yeah, I have.
So, what do you think of Game Pass as it is now? Like, are you
Well,
enthusiastic about it because you actually got the chance to use it?
I started off with the early stages of Game
Yeah.
Pass, like in the beta period.
Yeah.
And they had quite some games, which were some of them were actually good. There were good games in it. But now, now, it's just littered with small games like indie games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, nothing really enjoyable than a couple of hours.
Yeah, so you don't have like a game every month or every 2 months where you think from, oh, I can spend a few weekends with this.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's still coming out. Like now, Assassin's Creed Origins came out, or Odyssey, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, but so what I am curious about, because I asked this question to George as well, and if you have, well, I can ask it right now because then I have a complete answer. Name me 5 games which are exclusive Xbox Series X games. So you can play them on the Xbox Series S. On the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
you can only play them on the Series X, and I want to hear 5 games.
5.
5.
Get 3.
Well, first I think of Destiny. Destiny is revamped for the new console.
This is already released,
Yeah, it's already in Game
Oh,
Pass.
yeah.
and you can't play it on Xbox One.
No, it just locks off. It just he says you can play it, but you have to do it on cloud streaming. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They make it compatible using cloud.
Okay. that kind of works. Okay, and then,
Yeah, which works excellent, by the way. Like a great streaming service.
and then the second game.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I already have a new console, so this label is not coming from me anymore. But
Yeah, but isn't that crazy? So, for instance, I know I shouldn't be digging too much into. We have this saying here in the Netherlands.
Finish him.
Well, more like geen oude koeien uit de sloot halen, which is
yeah.
don't get old cow stories, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. But the problem.
Leave the past in the past.
Yeah. But when the PlayStation 2 released, when the PlayStation 3 released, when the PlayStation 4 released, when the Xbox One released, when the Xbox 360 released, I could have like 15 titles in the first year.
Yeah.
Well,
Name
PlayStation 3 not.
PlayStation 3 didn't take that long because in the beginning they already had this Genji game. They had.
They have Ratchet and Clank. They have the Uncharted game. They have Infamous.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I know you're skeptical, but
That's-
it's still better than what they have right now on the Xbox. That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
sure. But it wasn't good what they had.
Yeah,
That's just
okay,
what I wanted
but
to say.
we're not even talking about if it's good or bad. We're actually talking, is there something
Yeah.
Is
that's
it better than the
actually...
Xbox?
Yeah, for instance, if I would buy an Xbox Series X right now, and I know it's just
A waste of money?
No, it's just already bad that I'm saying this, but the only reason why I'm planning to buy this console is probably to just put old games in there and see what happens if it's being upgraded with new graphics. Yeah, because there's not too much else. I mean, of course, I have Halo Infinite right now, but the fucking joke with this game is this is empty CD. It's just a CD with a sort of quick link. Here's where you download it. Because when you put this game in your console, it's not even playing like, so for instance, the standard Xbox One X version. No, it's actually just going directly to the store and make you download 60 or 80 gigabytes. And this game is playable on every goddamn Xbox console. So there is literally no reason at all to buy this console except for playing old games with new graphics.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. I only have the one hope that Fable will be its redemption song. And I'm a huge Fable fan, so
Yeah.
that's all I hope for. Just please give me a good Fable and show me something. That would be nice. And what I was wondering is if they're gonna have another conference in August, because the past few years with Summer Game Fest they always had 2 conferences.
So what you are looking for is that they have another conference, which is like 12 months in advance, and then we have 2 months of extra content. Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, no, I expect
July,
them to
August.
go then what's coming in the next 3 years or something.
What's coming in the next
show me
lifespan
something.
of the Xbox Series
At
X?
this point I'm desperate, man. Just give me something. I want an IP or something that... I want to like Xbox. It's not that I hate it, but I want to like it. And at this moment, I don't like Xbox.
No.
There's no reason for me to buy anything. And I want to, so...
And I think Microsoft leave this fucking console alone. Let people on the game side handle this stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck off with your messages. We don't want to hear them. We just want to have regular ass games to play.
Yeah.
We want people to make their own games without interfering. People
Yeah.
like, oh,
Instead of
You have to put this
remaking
in.
every game,
You have
and
to put
remake
that creative vision. I think if you want to understand a little bit more of what we're meaning, there's a really great documentary of Cory Barlog. That's the creative developer for God of War that came out for the PlayStation 4.
yeah.
And he talks about his passion and his vision that he had for God of War. And I will leave it in the link in the description. And it's a really good way to see, like, if someone with passion gets to make a project and gets the freedom to try something new.
Yeah.
I think that's what's missing with Xbox.
Yeah, so the only thing that I want to add to this is what I really can't understand, and I think a lot of people, or at least I think a lot of people have this message in their head as well, is like, if there's so much money there and there's so much opportunity there, make me CEO for 1.5 years and I will make this game console a freaking success. I can't imagine me screwing this up. If you just spend $80 billion on something and you come up with this shit, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil Spencer, I had hopes for this guy, but if you really can be positive about this shit, then there's something wrong with you. People just have lower standards these days. If you go back into old E3s, there were people yelling and screaming around, and now they're just coming with this thing. Ooh, we had a meeting in Barcelona. We had a meeting in America. We had a meeting somewhere else in Asia somewhere.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
We want good games.
Yeah.
Make a CEO which has actually understanding of games. Make him release at least 20 freaking games after 2 years of a game console being released,
Yeah.
and have some good fucking content.
Yes, and I think you can have something for everybody. So
Indeed. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even like all games, but I can even imagine myself thinking for other people and make something which
Yeah.
which they like as
Fun.
well.
Make a great range of diversity and
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
the
worst
good
thing.
kind, not the woke kind.
Yeah, and the worst thing is I was actually the day afterwards watching the Capcom conference, and this Capcom conference was better than the Xbox conference. Yeah, I said it, because I could actually enjoy something of remakes of Resident Evil games, and the Resident Evil games are enjoyed. people enjoy these games.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
actually enjoy the remakes of these games as well. And that was just a part of what they released, because you could download, I think, a free Street Fighter. There's a the new Street Fighter 5, which is coming,
Yes.
which looks really nice. And they actually had some content where I was like, if Xbox was closely to this, with a budget of one freaking game developer, come on.
Yeah, and what Capcom already proved themselves with the Resident Evil remakes, because they really did a great job with Resident Evil 2 and
1 and 2. Because
1
they
and
were-
2, yeah, 1 and 2. So I think, Capcom just stole their shine,
Yeah.
which was kind of weird. And Capcom actually announced Dragon's Dogma 2. And you guys probably didn't play Dragon's Dogma. I'm pretty sure about this, but
It's an RPG.
Dragon's Dogma is a Japanese RPG, and
Told you.
it really, it kind of had a different feel to it, because
Yeah.
your character could become somebody else's companion. So I played with my brother's companion with me throughout the whole game, and the way they told the story, it was really trippy and out there, and it was really something different, something creative.
Yeah.
And them coming out with it too now is just amazing. And the way they announced it was, they really took the time. It took almost 12 minutes before they finally said Dragon's Dogma 2. And now the showcase is over.
Yeah.
That's all they needed. That's all they needed. I was so happy.
12 seconds he was sold.
So in 12 seconds I was sold. And we only saw a logo, just to be clear.
And there were also
so
some
1 second.
So I think there also was a game which was exclusive to the Nintendo Switch during their conference, and I was just thinking when I saw this Nintendo logo, you see these CEOs of Sony and the one of Nintendo, and they're sitting looking at this Microsoft conference like, we're gonna sell even more consoles next year.
Yeah, you would think that like Sony was really scared when they bought Bethesda. Like, you just spent like how many billions of dollars,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that now you only get this. Of course, eventually they will get the next Elder Scrolls, which is a whole platform of its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I hope for them to make some of their money back, but otherwise no.
Yeah.
But what did you guys think of Street Fighter? Because I really liked it.
I liked it as well. Yeah, I didn't really understand always like the complete love for the anniversary, the well,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even really understanding how I can explain this thing, but for some reason there is probably a set of Street Fighter fans which love to play Street Fighter out of 1989 and have this constantly coming back at least every 3 months.
Yeah.
Of a remake of, I don't know, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Special Edition, Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition, Street Fighter 2 Ultra Edition, and I don't know what the fuck they come up with, but
Definite edition.
yeah, I actually kind of like the newer version, so they have cool characters in there. I'm actually curious if there's also more of the characters of Street Fighter EX3, because there were a couple of guys like Kira and this guy that drops these bombs every time. I want to play with these characters again. So I'm curious if they come back to this game.
Well, if they're not in it yet, there will be DLC. And
Yeah, that's always
just
possible.
buy them. So
Do you think they made the same concept like Smash Bros? Like they bring all the characters there
Yeah, and
existed.
did you heard what they did with this with Super Smash Brothers? They just released Banjo-Kazooie in there. People were like, "Oh my God, is this the only way I can play Banjo-Kazooie
Yes.
right now with buying Super Smash Brothers?"
Wow.
like my son always says, Super Smash Bros. Is just the coolest game. It's the best because it got all the characters. So hey,
You
Yeah.
can choose whatever you want. Yeah, so I'm not really sure. Was there next to? Well, of course, I look at things that I really like, and one of the things I like is then Resident Evil, Street Fighter. Were there other like really main highlights in their conference which I missed?
no, not really that were noticeable to me. Like Street Fighter and then Dragon's Dogma is the one thing that they just could have shown the logo. I would have been fine. Like the rest is just like
For him, it's just a logo showcase. Like 1 second logo. Oh my
Oh
god!
my God, this game is
Oh,
coming.
but for fun, you should see the reactions online for the release of Dragon's Dogma, because it's not that of a popular game. Like, it's kind of a niche game, but the people who love it really love it. So their reaction is just so fun to watch how happy they are. and we probably have to wait like 5 more years before it comes out. But we don't care. At least it's coming. Like Xbox could learn from this. Show me something that's coming. I can be excited about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
3 years in advance. So let's switch over to something else. We still have something to say about the Halo series. I mean, it's and we want to.
Oh man. Oh.
We already talked about this in the in the deleted episode, but
hidden episode.
this catastrophe.
What do you mean? There were some great action scenes, and it looked amazing. I mean, the Master Chief outfit was actually perfect. The boots look good. The guns look good.
Think about it. Think long.
The Halo ring looked good. It looked good.
Yeah.
And the love interest of Master Chief died, so that was good. And yeah, the story wasn't good.
Another question then. We had 8 or 9 episodes, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many seconds of this episode of the whole season were fantastic? Were great? Were memorable?
Ooh. Well, the opening scene was very memorable, so we have 3 minutes there.
The first season?
Yeah.
The first episode.
There aren't going to be any more seasons, believe me.
Well, the second season is already being they already green-lighted this thing.
Oh, fuck yeah, it's Paramount.
Yeah, and this disaster is going to live through.
So after destroying Star Trek, they're like, now Halo's got to go.
Yeah, well, you have this person at 343, I think she's called Kiki Wolfkill.
Yeah.
I think somebody should kill her off.
Yeah.
Because that's probably the best thing to do, because you screw up Halo as a franchise, you screw up this whole Halo series, you greenlighted actually.
Yeah.
It's a freaking irritating story. It doesn't look like anything like Halo, and it ends like shit.
Well,
that's
the ending didn't
the
really
short
make any sense, because at the end, like it kind of at the end there's like a fight because it's Halo, and you see a Master Chief doing some awesome action moves and stuff, and it looks awesome, and then Cortana's like, yeah, but if I take over your body,
I can do better.
I can do better. But she takes over, but she doesn't do anything cooler or better. Like, I was like, Master Chief was doing just fine. Why were you interrupting her?
And the flying prophets that nobody saw and nobody shot a bullet at.
No. Because you know when they're supposed to die. You can't kill them off in this.
No, you can't kill
recall.
them. I mean, even in the
Then
Halo,
just let them leave before
even in
they
the
come.
Halo games, you're not allowed to kill them in the cutscene. So
Yeah, see.
yeah, this is just one big cutscene.
So let me come back
But
to I think the 7th
the
episode
opening
or something.
scene
So
was-
this
was
brood
great.
is being sucked up by the spaceship, and they can't do this with the prophets.
Oh.
They just leave them floating around there, and everything is being destroyed. And they're like, you see that down there? That's freaking funny. they're having a great party downstairs.
Yes, that's kind of the basic story, the gist of it. But I mean, like the action scenes were good, but the only bad thing was there were like 3 action scenes in the whole series. There was the beginning one. There was the one where the Master Chief chick just freezed up and didn't know how to fight anymore, and then Master Chief had to save her.
Yeah.
And then you had the final battle, and the story was awful.
And this action scene that you're referring to in the middle of the the 6th or 7th episode or something, you did notice that there were just like jackals walking around with energy swords, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, no.
What the
then,
fuck?
then we're talking about the same series here.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but why couldn't they pick up with a lightsaber? I mean,
They're too small. It's an elite weapon because
Yeah.
elite soldiers walk with elite weapon wearing.
well, this is the before times in Halo.
Yeah.
I mean, after the
Remember when
Great
they fucked up?
Purge,
Remember?
Yeah.
Remember?
after the Great Purge, then there was some class system was introduced.
Yeah.
Then the elite just got to pick their weapon, and the elite picked the lightsaber, and then the other ones picked the needler, and somebody picked the plasma gun. I actually liked the plasma gun and the needler in the series.
So
I liked
to
it.
just round this whole shit up, if you're a really huge fan of Halo, I suggest you leave this shit alone and not watch a second
do
out
not
of this.
watch this.
But I gotta say one thing. It is because we know the Halo series and we kind of know the story. But for people who are like really into sci-fi and like to watch like those sci-fi channel series, I mean, this is one for you. This is, you don't know anything about Halo, you can watch this and pretty much enjoy it.
That is an enjoyable series.
It's an enjoyable series, but you don't know, you don't have.
If you're a fan of the games,
don't know. No, it's not made
just
for
don't.
fans of the
Don't.
games. I mean,
To be fair to sci-fi series, so there's this channel which is called Sci-Fi. You can look all these great sci-fi series. They are B or C budget. I don't really care. They're funny. It's nice to watch. And George just said, like, if you like those sort of series, then watch them. I almost agree. Because these series mostly aren't that woke. This is also a woke disaster again.
Yeah.
This is again Microsoft giving this option again.
I was
going with
waiting
their
for
woke
this.
shit.
oh my gosh, she
Because-
colored her hair.
because-
How woke are we?
Because the whole thing here again is you have a story about Master Chief, and the problem with this whole story, it's a guy. And Microsoft and every of these sort of companies that join this whole shit streak is just, we have to delete all boys and guys because guys are bad. And they made a story where at
Women
least,
empowerment.
yeah, so there needed to be people in this series which replaced guys. And there was imaginary people walking around which are suddenly like main characters. And surprisingly, they're all women. It's freaking funny. And half of this story is fucked by this whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't even, what is she called? Quan Chi?
Oh, you mean the side story which has nothing to do with Master Chief or the Halo rings, the civil war that was building up, and it was just one. The actress was really bad, so I don't really mind that it was a girl, but they could do something more with the story and like make it prototype Spartan.
It had to be a girl. That's the issue.
Yeah, it was already so bad. Like if you put a man in that place, it really didn't matter. It wouldn't make it any better.
No, of course it didn't make it any better. But that's the whole problem with this thing. It had to be either an Asian woman or it had to be a dark-colored woman, because otherwise it wouldn't check the box.
Yeah.
Why not a black woman? Because that worked out in Kenobi so well.
I'm okay.
That's the topic for next time. That's the topic for
That's
next time.
something I'm not going into. I agree with you. And I think
Let's stay on the games level and no, that's something for the next time.
Is that something for the next time? Because we're already going so long. So.
Well, then I would say thanks for watching again. I hope you enjoyed.
And may the
I
force
hope
be
you
with
enjoy
you.
this new quality.
Yes.
And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe.
No, remember to like and subscribe.
Yeah. And we'll see you this time for real next week.